Hey everyone, it's me again. Hey. Um, it's such a beautiful day to be alive. I was thinking today that human life is so precious. Um, every moment counts, and we're not gonna be here forever. And so the only question that we really need to consider is, given our time constraint, how can we make best use of this opportunity? I think I was listening to the radio, but I heard there's this idea of inequality and separation in our world. Separation by geography, by income, by race, by whatever you name it. But the one constant, the one thing that we share as humans, as beings, is time. And we're all given the same amount every day, which is crazy to think about. The playing field is equal with time. And so there's no excuses. It eliminates all doubts, all fears, and you realize that the only thing we have to live for is time. And to do our best with what we've been given, however long that may be. I also wanted to share my brother. He sent me a really inspiring article, and I guess it was a commencement speech by one of the psychology teachers at UT. And it nearly brought me to tears. It was 3 stories, and we'll see if I can remember all of them. But the first was about a man who he was the first to really get into tightrope walking. And I want to say he was walking across Niagara Falls, and he completed it the first time he did it. And he went on to up the stakes every time. Just doing wild stuff, riding across on a bicycle. And finally, he had an idea that he was going to walk across Niagara Falls on a tightrope, pushing a wheelbarrow. And he called out a man. He said, "Sir, do you have any doubt that I can cross this line, this rope?" The man said, "No, I have no doubt." And he said, "Are you certain?" The man said, "Yes, I'm certain." He said, "Well, sir, get in the wheelbarrow, let's go." And I guess the takeaway is that, life presents us these challenges in the moment. And it doesn't matter what we've learned or what we think we know. All that matters is our ability to resist fear in the moment and believe in ourselves and trust our experience and walk that tightrope when the day comes. The second story was in regards to a bet that he and his 2 good friends, when they were young, had made. The bet originated from a game that they were playing. I think it was called Careers. I've never played the game, but you collect, I believe, happiness, hearts, stars, and money. And the more resources that you collect... Hi, Tyson.
Hello, David!
I'm telling the people a story.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No worries.
I didn't know you were out here. You can use my room now if you want.
Okay.
Just
I'll finish up here.
okay. We'll probably start dinner soon.
Perfect.
Bye, David.
Bye. And you collect these things, and that's your career. Money, happiness, stars. And the three friends, they assembled and they made a bet. They said, 30 years from now, let's get back together and let's see who has achieved success amongst us three. And the greatest success story shall buy the other two dinner at the nicest restaurant in the city. And so the story goes that they continued living their lives. One of the friends, he grew very successful in the eyes of some. He created a laundering business, a money laundering business, and became a great criminal. And had yachts, boats, big houses, beautiful women. And one day, he lost it all. And the government seized his assets and took him to jail. And there was nothing that he could be proud of in that moment. And I believe he passed away in a car accident a couple of years later. And he described the stories as he had never recovered from the incident. His other friend became very successful as well, but in a different field, in the field of business. And he created a marketing company. It became very big, very large, made a lot of money. But one day the business failed, even though at one point it had, $60 million in accounts receivable or in revenue. And his friend was so interested in the failure because he had never failed before. He had been a success his whole life in his eyes. And his curiosity and failure drove him to continue. And at times he was down, but followed his heart and continued to not base success in his results, but in the moment. And the storyteller himself, he went on to become a teacher. And in that way, he thought, there's no way my friends are going to surpass my success. I have such a passion for teaching, and the reward is so great for me that I don't think I have the opportunity to lose. And so, 30 years later, the friends met up again. And, of course, it was only two friends at this point. And as they met, they decided that what society had deemed success for them, or what others had deemed success, just wasn't the case. And that his takeaway was success is found within the self, not by these external possessions or items. That true happiness was the result of loving yourself and loving who you are, and not giving into fear when fear presents itself, or when you're down in life, or when you're up. None of these things matter. All that mattered to him was the moment and seizing that opportunity. And his final story that he told in his commencement address was a story of a British, I want to say British, but a British ski jumper And the ski jumper was Britain's only hope to win a medal this year, sometime in the 1960s. He's the lone representative. And so he goes up on the slopes and does his jump, and he makes it 250 feet, let's say. The first place made it 500 feet. So the jumper finished in dead last, 56 out of 56th place. And they interviewed him afterwards and said, how are you feeling after that jump? Looks like you didn't do so well. And the man said, I'm so grateful to represent my country that I didn't come here to place. This was the case. This was in the past. This is what happened. I placed last. But this was the greatest moment of my life, being here and sharing this opportunity with my country and those around me. And the speaker of the commencement address wraps up the speech saying, let's all try and be like that ski jumper and live up to that intention of, wherever we find ourselves in life, that whenever the cameras face us and others ask for, us to open up, that we do it. And we do it with a smile on our face and know that, everything's going to be okay. And just to be happy, because this is all we have. And just a reminder that time is so precious. And let's make every use of every minute that we're given. Cool. Alright, that's all I got. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.